Well, war has officially begun between Russia and Ukraine, just as I predicted here on my channel. Not only that, but President Trump is seizing up this opportunity to issue a dire warning to the American people, a warning that I myself have given quite a few times, and a warning that we should all take to heart and take seriously because so much is at stake. But before I do, I want to remind you, check out my partner, and it's a brand new partner at mydigitalmoney.com. In fact, you can buy and sell cryptocurrencies as much as you want, and you do not have to pay any taxes. And here's the best part. We all know just how big gains can be. We know Ethereum has gone up 450%. But the even better news is right now, My Digital Money is giving away $50 to new cash accounts, no questions asked. So get to My Digital Money and buy and sell cryptocurrencies today. All right, so let's dive into this warning given by President Donald J. Trump, and not just a warning from Donald Trump. In fact, Boris Johnson mimicked the warning that Trump was given. And not that I care much for Boris Johnson, but he did mimic what President Trump did say. But with that, check out this article here. And this is on the NewYorkPost.com, and it's titled, "China's Next. Trump says Putin's assault on Ukraine will embolden Yi to take Taiwan." And the article states this: as the West fears further military aggression from Russia in Ukraine, former President Donald Trump warned that China is going to be next and claimed the Asian superpower will attack Taiwan due to President Biden's ineffective leadership. Now, Trump made the prediction about the Chinese invasion on Tuesday as he was pressed on the ongoing tensions between Russia and Ukraine. Now, here's what he actually said more specifically. And he says this, President Trump says, "I got to know President Yi. By the way, China is going to be next." And Trump said this in an interview with the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton show at Mar-a-Lago. Now, Clay Travis, the host, responded and asked President Trump, "You think they're going to go after Taiwan?" And Trump responds, "Oh, absolutely," Trump said, "but not with me. They wouldn't have done that, basically, if he was president." Travis clarified and asked him to expand on that. He goes, "But you think with Biden, they'll try him?" And Trump responds, "Oh yeah, they're waiting till after the Olympics. Now that the Olympics have ended, and look at your stopwatch, right?" Trump said, "China has long asserted that Taiwan is part of its territory." So what President Trump is saying here is that he's saying, hey, look, Biden is very weak. He's not showing any power whatsoever. Putin is afraid of him, and neither is Xi Jinping of China. Neither is afraid of him. He's a weak person. He is weak to the core, and he's running the United States of America. Therefore, it's safe to say, according to Donald Trump, that he believes that the invasion of China in Taiwan is imminent and could happen sometime soon because nobody sees Biden as a real leader here in the United States of America. He's got no cojones, obviously. He's got some issues that we should be seeking the 25th Amendment about, right? He can't even keep a sentence together. But Donald Trump is saying here it's going to happen there. And what is the United States going to do when two of their allies, if you will, or areas that they agree to protect at some level? There's a lot more to it than that. It's a blanketed statement, but both Ukraine and Taiwan. And we're sitting back giving slaps on a hand. Not that we should do more. I don't want to be involved in anything like that. I don't want to be involved in any kind of war, especially with Russia and especially with China. Both nuclear power, powerhouses, if you will. But I believe what Donald Trump is saying, I think that they could use this as an opportunity, kind of killing two birds with one stone, especially when Russia and China are basically, shall I say, tongue-in-cheek with each other, right? And that's not the only one giving the warning. And by the way, I said this very thing months ago about China seizing up the opportunity. If you've been watching me on Restrictive Republic, then you know what I'm talking about. But he's not the only one saying that. In fact, Boris Johnson kind of mimicked that. Here we have New York Post. UK Prime Minister Johnson says Russia-Ukraine attack will echo around the world. And here's what he says. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson warned allies on Saturday that if Western nations allow Russia to invade Ukraine without any resistance, the shock will echo around the world and have damaging impacts on Taiwan. So he takes a little bit different aspect here. When I spoke to the Prime Minister of Japan and Australia this week, they left no doubt that the economic and political shock would be felt on the far side of the world, Johnson said at the security conference where leaders from more than 100 countries countries gathered. Johnson said that no one really knows what Russian Vladimir Putin president has planned, but the omens are grim, and this is why we must stand together. Quote, if Ukraine is endangered, the shock will echo around the world, and these echoes will be heard in East Asia and will be heard in Taiwan, he added. People will draw the conclusion that the aggression pays and that it might be right. So we should not underestimate the gravity of this moment and what is at stake. And that's according of course, to Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who I don't particularly care for after all the crap he did with the pandemic there. But I digress. What he's saying here is if there isn't enough resistance to what's going on, sanction-wise or whatever with Russia, then China's going to be like, man, they didn't do much. United States didn't do very much. Hey, I'm going to seize up this opportunity to go after Taiwan. And I think it's a real possibility. And here's the other little inside bit of info that I want to give you, and that's this. China has been stockpiling a lot of stuff. Aluminum, copper, grains, corn, soybeans, a whole list of items. In fact, they've even told their people to stock item stuff. And one has to ask the question, why are they doing it? Are they preparing something? Are they preparing for sanctions if they go after Taiwan? I mean, it's a question that needs to be asked. And hear what I'm talking about here, just so you can see the evidence. Bloomberg opinion. One reason for rising food prices, China is hoarding things. China is hoarding. And the article states this: by mid-2020, that's this year, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, China will hold 69% of our corn reserves, 60% of rice, and 51% of wheat. By China's own estimates, these reserves are at a historically high level and are contributing to higher global food prices for China. Such stockpiles are necessary to ensure it won't be at the mercy of major food exporters such as the U.S. Exactly. So in case there's some kind of penalty, they're ready to go. But other countries, especially in the developing world, might ask why less than 20% of the world's population is hoarding so much of its food. And it's a really good question. Here's another article there showing that it's not just food, it's also other things like copper. Here we have China is using its currency to stockpile both copper and grains. You can see the date on that, January of last year, but it's still ongoing. Then we also have this one, refinery weekend saw China resume stockpiling of crude, specifically crude oil there, just ahead of stockpile sales. And not only that, they're also telling their people to stockpile stuff. So take a look at this article on CNN Business. China is urging families to stock up on food supply as challenges multiply. And more specifically, I like the way the New York Post titled it, China accidentally sparks doomsday prepper frenzy after telling residents to literally stockpile food. So there you have it. China is actively engaged in stockpiling food, aluminum, copper, grains, soybean, corn, all of these things. And we have to start asking a question: if they hold so much of the reserves, which are big portions, what do they intend to do and when? What is the plan? Because they're absolutely not telling us to do that here in the United States of America, even considering that we are having massive shortages at our grocery stores. We're having massive prices on our gas, and they're even warning that it's going up. By the way, if you're not stocking up on something, you should absolutely do so. You should absolutely do so. Anyhow, wanted to bring you all the latest on that information. Again, please don't forget to check out my new partner at mydigitalmoney.com. You can buy and sell cryptocurrency in your IRA, or you can even trade it in for cash. It's a good way to diversify your profile. You can have a little in gold, you can have a little in silver, a little in cryptocurrency, because we just don't know which way the economy is going to go. So check it out there and take advantage of what they have to offer. They even have a phone number that you can call. They've got the contact information there. So give them a call, talk to one of their special agents. And this is the number right here you see on the screen. You can give them a call and talk to one of their friendly agents. And they're all out of the United States. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. I love all of you. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.